Hey guys, Aaron here. Today we're going to be replacing the rear glass motor and regulator on a Nissan Titan years 2004 through 2015. Now in our case, the window motor intermittently stops and it's very difficult to get the window back up once you roll it down. Rolling it down isn't a problem, but when it comes to closing it and getting it back up, you got to manipulate the switch a lot and eventually it'll get back up, but it's kind of iffy. So we're going to go ahead and replace this now. Overall, the job's not too difficult. However, there's a couple tips and tricks I'm going to show you along the way to make it go a little bit smoother. So with that said, let's go over the parts and tools we need to get the job done. So as far as tools go, we need a 10mm socket, a 12mm socket, and a 14mm socket. We'll need a small pick, a 3/8 extension, a trim removal tool, and a Phillips head screwdriver. We're going to need a 3/8 ratchet. I'm going to be using my Milwaukee power ratchet, just makes the job go by a little bit quicker. And of course, we're going to need a new window regulator and motor assembly for the back glass. I went ahead and purchased this directly from Nissan. I'll include the part numbers and a link in the description, so if you want to do the job yourself, you can. Now, when it comes to gaining access to the window regulator and motor assembly, a couple ways we can do it. You could either fold this bench seat down and then we'll remove the carpet and everything, or you can remove the seat itself. Gives you a little bit more space, and it's actually easier to manipulate the window regulator and motor to get it out of the vehicle. So that's what we'll do. There's a series of 14mm bolts that we're going to be removing along with the seatbelt bolts to get this thing out. But if you want to just lay down the bench sheet, there's a little pull string down here and it comes down, and then you can start removing everything from here and tucking it another way. But I'm going to go ahead and flip the seat up and start working on the bolts to get this thing out. Now, as you can see, with the bench seat removed, we have a lot more room to work on this carpet, this rear headliner. Take the passenger side bench seat and just fold it down. That'll give you a little bit more room to remove this top trim piece. Okay, so next we need to remove these little plastic pop rivets on this top trim piece. There's two here. We'll need a flathead screwdriver, and then if you just take a trim removal tool or a pair of needle nose pliers, you can remove the 5 ones on the top here. So let's take our 14mm socket and remove the 2 bolts that hold the bracket on for the seatbelt. Now with that off, we need to go ahead and remove the bracket that holds on the locking mechanism for the bench seat. We're going to be using a 12mm socket. And once that's done, we can take this carpet and fold it down. There are some pop rivets that are no longer here. They look to be deteriorated or broken, but go ahead and remove those, and then you can just take your carpet off. So with the carpet out of the way, you see we have access to this little plastic cover. Just go ahead and rip it off. So with that out of the way, you see we have full access to our window regulator and motor assembly. There's one connector we're going to pop off using a small pick, and then there's 3 bolts that we need to remove for the window motor. And the regulator assembly has 2 bolts on the lower portion and 2 bolts on the upper portion. Now, if you're able to, go ahead and roll your window down, and that will expose the 2 10mm bolts that we need to remove to separate the glass from the regulator. Once we do that, we can go ahead and manually close the window and secure the window closed with some packaging tape or some duct tape across the roof, just so the glass stays in the up position and gives us a lot of room to get this regulator out. If your window motor can't roll the window down, you're going to have to get up there. It's very tight with a 10mm socket and remove the 2 bolts manually, or you could try unbolting the regulator to get it down a little bit more to get you some room. power for the defrost is connected to the window regulator. Be careful not to damage the little bushing that goes inside the window regulator, because this wiring harness needs to go up and down with it. So let's go ahead and remove that now, and we're going to need to reattach it to the new one. Okay, so with our old window motor removed, we need to go ahead and install a new one. Just take special note to your defroster if your vehicle has defrost. The clip I ended up breaking on mine, so I'm just gonna actually zip tie it to the window regulator. That way this never gets bound up during the operation of the window. So now with our regulator installed, we can go ahead and lower our glass down and connect the glass to the regulator along with the wiring harness that connects to the motor. Okay, so with our window regulator installed along with our motor, the electrical connection is in. We can go ahead and test the window to see if it moves up and down freely. Shouldn't be any binding of the cable here or anything as far as the tracks on the window itself. Okay, so now that we verified everything is working, we got no problems with the cable or the window going up and down, we can put everything back together, starting with this little plastic piece. This rubber is pretty dated and it's no longer sticky, so I'm just going to use some 3M adhesive and put this back just so no dust or debris get inside. Now we're ready to go ahead and throw our carpet and our seats back on along with the trim pieces that go above the window. So now that the vehicle's pretty much put back together, that wraps up this video. I hope this video has helped you out. If it has, please like and subscribe, and feel free to leave a comment in the comment section if you have any questions. Make sure to check out the links in the description for the parts and tools I used during this video. Thanks again as always, guys. See you next time.